Hey everyone, what is going on? So we are doing more PvP battles, the Ferocious Cup. What else would we be doing? Against Trexler, and his team is going to be Laran, Alola Ninetales, Nidoqueen, Raichu, Linoone, and Vaporeon, and my team is Donphan, Alola Ninetales, Alola Marowak, Bibarel, Suicune, and Linoone. And I had questions as to why I put like the shiny image, like shiny Alola Ninetales, when we are using the regular one. And that was just because that was the first image I found. I mean, if it does matter, I could always change it. But I figured it didn't affect the battle at all. So yeah, but that's why. Anyway, we are going up against Trexler. I am focusing on Bibarel in this video, and it's definitely a lot of fun to use it. I really like this Pokemon, to be honest with you. Maybe a little bit more than Suicune. I'm not sure about Vaporeon yet, but maybe more than Suicune, just because Suicune is good, but you basically have to get the bluff with Bubble Beam for it to really benefit you. And make no mistake about it, I do like Suicune, and I don't regret investing in it. But, you know, we'll be trying them out more so. I mean, there's like 3 really good water types that I like. That's Bibarel, Suicune, and Vaporeon. So I'll have to see which one I like the most. Maybe I'll like 2, maybe I'll go with that. I don't know. I want to keep some surprises for the Richmond tournament November 9th, and I will be having a tournament video of that. Should be 8 rounds. I'm confident it will be, so let's see how I do. Even if I go 0-8, I'm still going to have a video. If I go 8-0, I'm going to have a video. If I go 4-4, I'm going to have a video. It doesn't matter. We'll see how I do. Feeling pretty good about this cup. I really like it, so we'll see, but I am excited to meet some of you and meet some of the other YouTubers, so it is going to be a fun tournament for sure. But anyway, as you can see, his Nidoqueen just finished me off, so we do go ahead, lose this one, but we get a Sinnoh Stone. I wish it was a Universe Stone, but you cannot get a Universe Stone right now through these battles. But anyway, the next match is 2 water Pokemon going head to head in the rain. My Bibarel and his Vaporeon. So just go into town with Water Gun. Now his Vaporeon, you'll notice it has a flower on its head, which means it cannot have Last Resort, because those were not around when Last Resort was. So even if you don't go with Last Resort Vaporeon and you decide to go with Hydro Pump, I would still recommend using the original Vaporeon, just so they don't know you have Last Resort. They'll probably think that you do, but I know he doesn't have it just for that reason, although I did trade him one prior to this, so he has it, he just isn't using it currently. Just a little tip for you, that goes for shinies as well. For example, if you're using a shiny Haunter in a tournament, right away your opponent is going to know that's not a Shadow Ball one, because shiny Haunter did not exist when Shadow Ball was a thing. So at least I don't think it did. So that's a little advice for you. That's what I've noticed and picked up as I continue to play. I notice these small details that you might not pick up on, but definitely a little piece of advice, as I mentioned. I know some people like to flex the shinies, and there's nothing wrong with that, but the only thing is if you do flex the shiny, and they might know it's not a legacy, and you guys get what I'm saying. But either way, let's see how we're doing, bringing in my Bibarel again to finish his Linoone. We do have a Surf and almost a Hyper Fang. You could go with Hyper Beam as well. It obviously takes more energy, but it's going to do a lot of damage. So when shields are down, that Hyper Beam is just going to go to town. It really does. It really does a lot of damage. I might actually consider it. That's how much damage it does. But anyway, he brings in his Vaporeon to use in Aqua Tail against my Donphan. We decide not to block that. My Donphan does go down, so I will bring in Bibarel, and he's going to bring in his Raichu. Not concerned. Even if we didn't get to the Surf, we still would have won, because we had a shield that we could have shielded Wild Charge or Brick Break, and just fainted him down with Water Gun. So we do go ahead and take this one. So really good game as always. And this is a longer video, as I've been asking. Let me know if you do like the longer videos. I'm not saying I'm always going to be doing them, but we've just been having so much fun with this cup. We've been playing a lot, so I just upload all the videos. So it just happens to be longer, just because we're really enjoying the cup. And I also liked the Sinister Cup, but just having a lot of fun with this one. But either way, I hit him with Grass Knot. I knew he would shield that, and so I have a Linoone against his Santa Raichu, so I'm going to let this Brick Break go. We are weak to it, does a decent amount, but we're able to take it. I fire off another Grass Knot hoping to catch his shield. We actually do, so we do take his last shield, so now he is out of shield, so that's good for us. I'm going to go ahead and let Linoon go because it basically did its job. We have both of his shields. We are up 2 shields. He does have the switch advantage at this point and the Pokemon advantage, but we are up 2 shields. I decided to block this one. Luckily I did because it was a wild charge. I'm going to go ahead and get off a Bone Club to try and finish off the Raichu. Doesn't require a lot of energy, so might as well. And then we wait to see what comes in. It's going to be Vaporeon. I tried to switch, but I guess he got off his move before I was able to. So he is able to take my shield. So just like that, it goes 2-2. So really not so good for me. So I charge up a bunch of energy before he can get to Grass Knot. Fire off a Surf right now. Gonna do good damage. I was hoping I would be at another one, but he does get off his Grass Knot. But I was pretty confident I could survive. We do survive, just not by much. And we actually are able to get to another Surf because we do resist those Shadow Claws. So another reason I like Bibarel, you know, if we didn't resist them, we would not have been able to get to that Surf. Bringing in my Alolan Marowak, and he will hit us with, I believe it's an Aqua Tail. It is an Aqua Tail, able to take that, and we do get to the Shadow Ball. And this was, I thought I was going to lose this game because I had the Marowak, but Shadow Ball is just going to be enough to finish off the Vaporeon. Literally 1 HP, guys, literally 1 HP. So we do go ahead and win that one, picking up more starter, so I will take it. Surprisingly, he actually hadn't used his Lairon against my team, and, you know, I thought he would, but then he brought up a good point. He's like, it's really only good against my Alolan Ninetales, and, you know, I guess his Nidoqueen does well against my Ninetales as well. Spoiler alert, the following video will be featuring Nidoqueen, and I really do like it, so can't wait to showcase off that Pokemon. But we fire off a charge move, take his shield, and I decided to stay in just to do as much damage as possible, and look how much Charm took away from Raichu. So bringing in Linoon, I had thought about the shield. I decided not to go with the shield. It is a Brick Break, able to take it. So he is able to get off another charge move. I do block this so I could feint him down and just have energy ready to go. He's actually able to get off one more Brick Break, so really nice on his end, although we're still able to take it. So we knock out the Raichu and have a Grass Knot as well as a Thunder ready. I probably will be changing that Thunder to Dig. I've mentioned that probably in like every video so far, but I haven't changed it yet. We do fire off the Thunder. He will not block it, and we're trying to get to another Grass Knot as we are able to get to one. So that's really good just because we do resist those Shadow Claws, so able to get to it and he will block it, so we do take his last shield and we actually get to a Grass Knot before he's able to feint our Linoon, so I'll take it, knocking out the Vaporeon, and then he brings in his Linoon, and I knew I wouldn't get to another one, that's asking for too much. Bringing in the Bibarel. Now we do have a shield to block this Grass Knot, but as you all have seen previously, we are able to take a Grass Knot, and he does get to another one, so I knew I had this game because I knew we could take it, as we've seen already. Not well, we don't take it well at all, but we're able to survive it and get off a Surf to end Linoon, so we do go ahead and win this one. So another fine game, So let's see, again, increasing my Ultra League badge. This is a really good way to increase the Ultra and Master League if you like me and don't participate in those leagues. But this lead is bad for me. I'm going to have to pull the switch for my Linoon. I pull right into Alolan Ninetales. I believe I take this hit. Yeah, I do take it. It is a Wild Charge, so nice on him for going for Wild Charge. He does bring in his Nidoqueen, and unfortunately, because I took that Wild Charge, we were not able to get to Psyshock. So I do bring in Bibarel, and I'm going to go ahead and shield this one up. It is an Earth Power. That would have done a good amount of damage to us. I am able to get to a Surf before he can get to another Earth Power, so hoping to knock out his Nidoqueen or take a shield. So we do go ahead and take that shield. He does get to another one. I do decide to forfeit my last shield. Not really in a great position. I was seeing if there was some sort of way out of this. So we do knock out Nidoqueen, so it's 2-2, but he has switch advantage as well as shield advantage. So I do go for my Surf trying to knock out that Raichu. Of course he's going to block it, so I bring in my Alolan Raichu and he brings in his Vaporeon. So we actually get off the Shadow Ball. So again, getting off a Shadow Ball against Vaporeon, doing a lot of damage, not able to knock that out unfortunately. Trying to get the Bone Club, we're actually able to. However, this Bone Club still will not knock out Vaporeon. It almost does, but it doesn't. It's close. It doesn't do it. So he's able to get to an Aqua Tail and knock out my Marowak. Bibarel will knock out his Pokemon, and then he brings in Raichu, and unfortunately he gets to another charge move, and it is going to be that Wild Charge. So King Bibarel is going to fall to that Raichu, unfortunately. So that's okay though, Bibarel can't handle everything. It's a really good Pokemon for this cup, but it even falls once in a while. So, moving on, Linoone versus my Donphan. So Donphan is another Pokemon I have been enjoying. It is good against the normal types, including Bibarel. It's also good against Lairon, which I think is going to be relatively good. And it is decent against Alolan Ninetales. Not super great, it is neutral. And because Ninetales is a frail Pokemon, we'll be doing a lot of damage. Now, I did go for the Steel move. May have been a mistake. The reason I went for that was because I thought he would shield it, but he did not shield it. He thought it was going to be a Heavy Slam. So that was a nice prediction, I guess, on his end, thinking I wouldn't go for the Earthquake. He does bring in his Linoone. I go for my Psyshock to try and knock it out, or at least do a lot of damage. He does shield it up, and they were trying to feint Linoone, and he does go for his move. I do let my Ninetales go because I knew that I would not be able to get to another one. At least I didn't think I would be able to. So I do let it go. Bringing in Bibarel, the king of the Ferocious Cup. He brings in Raichu. I switch immediately just in time to catch this move. It is going to be a Brick Break. So at least we catch that. However, we're still going to be taking a lot of damage. I do go for the Heavy Slam, hoping he would burn his last shield. He actually doesn't. I could have shielded and then went for the Earthquake and knocked out the Raichu, but I was pretty confident he was going to shield that, but he doesn't. So nice play on his end, not to shield that one. But I am going to go ahead and use up my final shield to block that. It is only a Brick Break, and then we're able to feint him. So we actually still win, but nice play to try and win, or to try and come back. So we're going to move on to another game. I lead with Bibarel, and he leads with Raichu. So really bad lead for us. Doesn't mean we lose it, but it's a bad lead. So we're going to bring in the Donphan, and he brings in his Vaporeon. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Earthquake, hoping that he would think it was a Heavy Slam, and we'll see what happens. He does not, because he blocks that. So unfortunate for us, trying to get to at least one more Heavy Slam. I believe I let Donphan go. Yeah, I let Donphan go. So really tough situation because we can't bring in that Marowak against the Vaporeon, so we have to bring in the Bibarel, charging up a bunch of energy, and let's see what happens. He is going to go ahead and go for his charge move, which will be Hydro Pump. So yeah, it's definitely that Hydro Pump, going to do a lot of damage to us. Really not looking too hot. I'm going to go ahead and go for that Hyper Fang to knock out Vaporeon. We are up a shield, down switch advantage, but it's really not looking too good. I switch immediately into Marowak just to try and pull out something. I let this, actually, no, I do shield it. It is a Wild Charge, so it was a good shield. So he's going to go ahead and go for another charge move, which I'm thinking is a Brick Break. It is. So at least we call that correctly, trying to come out of the situation. So now he has his Linoone against my Alolan Marowak. So unfortunately, not a whole lot I could do. I mean, we can go for Bone Clubs, or we can go for multiple Bone Clubs in a row, but not really much we can do to this Linoone. I mean, the damage is adding up, so it's not terrible, but actually, I guess we are doing quite well to this Linoone because that Bone Club is just doing a lot of damage. Tried to switch, but I guess there was a CMP tie, and I wasn't able to. I block the Grass Knot, switching into my Bibarel, and he brings out his Raichu, unfortunately, to knock me out. I bring out my Alolan Marowak, and he's going to win this one. If I stayed in with Marowak against the Raichu, he would have gotten to his charge move and then fainted my beat. But yeah, there was no way I was going to come out of this because he still had a shield left. So really solid game. That was definitely a lot of fun. Next game I lead with my Bibarel. He leads with his Vaporeon. And just a race to, I guess, the charge moves. I think Bibarel in this situation has the advantage because he does not have Last Resort. And you really don't want to block a move from a Bibarel if you have a Vaporeon. That's why I generally go for Hyper Fang. Or if I had Hyper Beam, I would be going for that over Surf because it's not really a bluff, just because people I've noticed really don't like to shield that because it's not super effective. They want to save their shields. I'm kind of the same way. So I have my Donphan against his Raichu. Gonna go ahead and go for this Heavy Slam. Now I know it is resistant, but I also knew it would do a good amount and then we'd almost be able to finish him off. I actually do take this pretty confident I would survive it, and we do survive it, so we're able to feint his Raichu. So pretty good position for us as of right now. So let's see what happens. He brings in his Nidoqueen. We actually get to another Heavy Slam. I did not think I would make it to that Heavy Slam, but I guess because it has Poison Jab, we were able to. And then he feints us down. So I do bring in Bibarel. He switches immediately, and I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger on my Surf. And he will actually shield that, but I will bring in my Linoon to take the move. Now, okay, so I guess I do shield it. It was a Hydro Pump, so it's a good thing I shielded that. I wasn't going to, but I guess I decided to because I still had 2 shields and the battle was coming to an end. So I do go ahead and go for my Grass Knot, and he will take it. Probably figuring he lost this one anyway, so maybe he just gave up. I do that as well. So we do go ahead and win this one. And moving on to another game. Yeah, this is quite a lengthy video. It might be like 25 minutes. So I do lead with my Alolan Ninetales, and he leads with his Raichu. So I'll just stay in, just go for the charms, counting the Thunder Shocks to know if he is at a Wild Charge or not. I do let it go through, and it is a Wild Charge. I knew he had the Wild Charge. I was just hoping it was a bluff, but it wasn't. So I'm going to go ahead and go for my... Excuse me, guys. Couldn't hold it in. So, I bring in my Bibarel right now against his Vaporeon. And he will get off his move. I do let this go through, even if it's a Hydro Pump as it is. It does a lot of damage, but we're still able to take it. So we're going to go ahead and get off this Hyper Fang, and he will let that go through. As I said, people don't like shielding Vaporeon, or water types in general, against other water types, and I totally agree with that. So his Raichu will knock out my Bibarel, and now we bring in Donphan, and I know Donphan can take whatever hit it is. It's of course going to be a Brick Break. So all I have to do is feint him down with counter. I actually do shield this one. Wow. I guess because it was his last... No, it wasn't his last Pokemon. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have shielded that, but I guess it doesn't matter. I didn't think I did shield it, but either way, it's okay. He does go ahead and shield that one up, so he will go for the Grass Knot, and I will be able to shield this and get to another Heavy Slam. So that is exactly what I do. Get to this Heavy Slam. He is out of shields, and that will knock out Linoon. So Donphan pulling it out for us and winning that game. Yeah, that's why I blocked the Raichu, I guess. I didn't want Donphan to go down, so that shield made sense. Yeah, that's what I'll tell myself. But anyway, Donphan versus Linoon. We've seen this matchup before, so let's see what happens right now. We're just going to town against him. Now you can play this one of 2 ways. Of course, you have to shield the Grass Knot, which I'm going to do, and then you could either continue to try and feint him down and use your last shield on his Grass Knot, or you could do what I did and force a shield with the Heavy Slam before he gets to his second Grass Knot, which I think probably is the better play, so at least you take one of his shields. You use both shields, but you're only down 1 shield and you have the switch advantage. Plus, you have the energy for whatever comes in. So I feel like that is a solid way of playing it. So I'm going to go straight for the Earthquake, hoping he would think it was a Heavy Slam and not shield this one. But he does shield it. But the good news is we do take his last shield, so I will switch into Bibarel. He actually pulls the switch, and I was so close to tapping on Surf, so I just go straight for the Hyper Fang. Wasn't sure how much this would do. It actually does a decent amount. Surf may have been better, but I tried to feint him down. I got a little bit greedy there. I wasn't able to do it. So I bring in my Charm, Alolan Ninetales, and he brings in his Nidoqueen. So not looking too good for us. Stone Edge will come out, and he'll be able to finish me off with Poison Jabs. It wasn't my last Pokemon though. I bring in my Donphan, trying to get to that Heavy Slam. I was so close, guys. Wasn't able to do it. If I had bluffed earlier with the Heavy Slam instead of going for the Earthquake against the Nidoqueen, we would have been able to get to another Heavy Slam, but you live, you learn. So that's okay. We'll begin with Linoon. He'll begin with his Alolan Ninetales. So just charging up energy as usual. I am trying to get to my charge moves. We do get to Grass Knot. Wasn't sure if he was going to shield this or not. He does decide to shield it, so at least we take a shield from him, and we actually get to another Grass Knot. So I was expecting his second shield to come up because he doesn't want to waste like that energy, but Grass Knot was actually not able to feint him, and we're able to knock him out. So pretty good for us. I was clicking on the Grass Knot, but I didn't think I would be able to get to it. We were actually so close. We were there, but it just wasn't enough. So that's okay. So thinking about which one to bring in, I decided to bring in the King Bibarel, and we're just going straight for the Hyper Fang because, as I mentioned already, people do not want to shield Bibarel because it could be a Surf, or even if it is a Hyper Fang as it is. It does a lot of damage, but I guess people still don't like to Surf it. He hits us with Aqua Tail and then brings in Nidoqueen. So I was happy to see that Nidoqueen because we have a water Pokemon available to us. Hitting him with Surf, but he is going to go ahead and shield that. So we are up 2 shields. I do use one because I knew I would be able to get to a Surf before he knocked us out with Poison Jab. Unless if he got the defense drop, then I still think I would have, but it would have been, yeah, I'm pretty sure I still would have. But either way, we knock him out with Surf, and then we try to finish him out. Bibarel does go down, but we have Alolan Ninetales, and of course, we're going to shield this one up. Could have taken it anyway, but we shielded up and knock out his Vaporeon for that game. And that will be it for this one, guys. See you in the next one. Bye.